In the year 2003, an RPG series from Mario called Mario and Luigi came out to a great success. Developed by Alpha Dream, Mario and Luigi has the Mario Brothers explore different environments, whether it's a whole new kingdom to inside your arch nemesis' stomach. Personally, I've only played 2 Mario and Luigi games, Superstar Saga and Paper Jam. Well, let's change that. I'm Fan, and this is Taking a Look into Mario and Luigi. A Look Into Mario and Luigi is going to be a new series on the channel that has me go through every Mario and Luigi game to give my thoughts and in general, have fun. Each episode will be based on a new Mario and Luigi game, so do the math and you'll get 6 videos total. Also, the extra content from Superstar Saga and Inside Story will be in the series, so that's something to look forward to. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get to it!
Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh yeah, I forgot about you. For this series, I'll have my friend MemeJohn86 be part of the series. If you don't know him, he was in my Mega Man Maker wishlist video, aka my very first video on this channel.
I wouldn't have agreed to come along, but, well, I do like Mario and Luigi, and I just felt the fan couldn't do it alone. The only thing you need to know for this video, at least, is that I really like Superstar Saga. I'll be pointing out differences between the original game and the 3D remake, as well as making my own funny little interjections, because I know you critters love that sort of thing.
Thanks, MemeJohn. Now without further ado, let's get to it! Let's start off with the basics. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga is not your ordinary Mario game. It's part of the RPGs that Nintendo has published, and out of those, it's one of the games that spawned into its own series. The story is also out of the ordinary. While Bowser is still part of the game, he doesn't kidnap Princess Peach, but helps you instead. Granted, it's just because he can't kidnap her without helping you, but I digress. Instead, the main villain is Cackletta, and her big bad plan is to rule the Beanbean Kingdom by using Princess Peach's voice to awaken a sacred object called the Bean Star, a star that can grant any wish once awakened. It's up to the Mario Brothers, yes, it's no longer just Mario, to save the day. This time his brother Luigi comes along, of course. Unwillingly, though.
You may not think this is very important, but in most other Mario RPGs before this one, Luigi would be absent for a lot of the game. I think it was around the time that this game and Luigi's Mansion came out that Luigi was starting to be fleshed out as a character more. Another thing to note is that while the story is outstanding, it also has its fair share of jokes and gags that keep the player engaged, which is one of the major things that makes the Mario and Luigi series shine.
The first major battle in the game is against Fawful, Cackletta's little henchman. Here you'll learn the basics of battling, which are essential to know as they'll get expanded upon throughout the game. This battle shows one of 2 major things that makes Mario and Luigi stand out from the rest. Number 1, you can dodge attacks. It's not like Paper Mario where you can reduce the amount of damage taken.
Nor is it like Mario RPG's perfect blocking system.
Oh no. You can literally dodge! In some cases, you can even counterattack the enemy. It encourages you to take as little damage as possible, or if you're really good, none at all. I also hope you really like falls, because after beating Fawful, you somehow survive a 600-foot fall into the Beanbean Kingdom. Look at that, the Mario Brothers committing trespassing. Never thought I would see that.
The Border Patrol recognizes you, and they only let you pass if you can jump rope. It's fun, but one has to wonder about the Beanbean Kingdom security if they depended all on a game of jump rope.
After traversing through the border, you'll eventually find the Starshade Brothers, who teach you how to do high jump as well as spin jump. These, along with various other movesets throughout the game, will be very useful for traversing rocky terrain. Oh, and this is also where you learn Bros attacks, the second major thing about this game. I really like the idea of these moves, where you coordinate button presses to unleash an ultimate attack, and it even looks really cool when done right. However, in the remake, it feels more like a free attack the more you do it. Not even getting used to the move, the Bros attacks are literally easier to do in the remake. Look for yourself.
Not only that, but executing the moves themselves functions differently. Remake has them as separate moves in the menu, but in the original you have to remember to press a separate button at a certain point. Yeah, it's a little cryptic, but also satisfying to learn and amazing to execute. Plus, you only have 2 buttons, so if it's not the one button, it's the other one.
If there is one thing I really liked about the Stardust Fields, it's that it's a great tutorial area. Aside from the aesthetics are very pretty as a whole. But let's touch about the tutorial area. I really like how it actually does teach you about not only how to interact with the overworld, but as well as how to do Bros attacks as previously mentioned. It's a great way to get you set up for the game as a whole, for the main event as well. Well, it's time to say bye to Bowser and hello to a new area, Hoo Hoo Village. Here you meet the Hammerhead Bros, and you will see them having troubles, which leads to a task they have for you. Climb Hoo Hoo Mountain, you'll get yourselves a brand new hammer. It's a pretty good deal, am I right? It was a bit confusing climbing the mountain at first, but then I quickly adapted to what was being asked. After beating up the boss and rescuing Prince Peasley, we finally get our reward.
Wow, a rose? For all that climbing, you get a lousy stinking rose? Autographed, of course, but man, shitty prize. Luckily, you also get hammers after returning to the village, which is a bit more fair.
You also get a brand new command, the Hammer Command. Yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but the game gives you spiky enemies for you to use this move, so it isn't all useless. Well, since the kind prince wants us to go to his home, Castle Beanbean, we might as well go. Before we arrive, we get to the Beanbean Fields, which is the open zone for this game. This area has some tricky enemies, so if you go the wrong way, you better be careful.
Yeah, for some reason you can just go over to areas that you're intended to go to much later in the game and get your ass kicked by Tanoombas and such. I guess the developers didn't have any foresight there. Thankfully, there's a solution, although it's only in the remake. The mini-map exists to help you out wherever you're lost, so if you can find the right path to Beanbean Castle, you'll be fine.
Once you enter Beanbean Castle, you'll meet Lady Lima, and sadly, she doesn't believe that you're the Super Mario Brothers, so to test you, she gives you a little surprise. I really like this segment for one main reason. This dungeon pays tribute to one of the games that started the Mario franchise, Mario Brothers. They made it super fun by combining a bit of combat with a pinch of puzzles. This is a really good way to engage the player in the dungeon. It doesn't make it bland, nor boring, nor hard. No, it's still an easy challenge. So that's a win in my book. For the fun of it, the fighter flies come back to try and tackle you once more. But sadly, you won't see any POW blocks or any other enemy returning. So womp womp.
Actually, in the GBA version, there was a full port of Mario Bros. Although this is included with all the GBA Mario games. It's pretty fun, actually, and supports 4-player through the link cable. Unfortunately, that Lady Lima we met earlier was actually Kecletta in disguise, and now she has the Beanstar. You also have to take care of Queen Bean, who's a muscular beast.
After that mess, we learned that the only way to change back the Queen is that she has to drink a special drink called the Chocola Reserve to spit out that worm ravaging her insides. So we have to make a quick detour to Chucklehuck.
Chucklefuck.
Shut up, Babe John! Anyways, Chucklehuck Woods to get the cure. I like this section, although I do have my problems with it. It's really easy to get lost in the barrel maze, and at first I found Popple to be a weird fellow, but I changed my thoughts by the second fight, and I came to like him a lot more.
Plus the battle theme rocks. Popple also fights along Rookie, who is definitely not Bowser. Definitely not.
Before we move on, there's something that I want to mention. When you're at the Chocola Chateau, or whatever it's called, you'll find some steps on how to make a type of soda in the Beanbean Kingdom called Chocola Cola. I really enjoy when games put this sort of detail in, because it encourages players like us to learn a variety of stuff about the environment that it has to offer. In this case, it's a whole new kingdom, which makes the experience even better. We're at that point of the game now where we're gonna get another set of bros moves by another pair of red and green colored individuals. You know the pattern by now.
Yeah, it's another learn new abilities, collect items, use the new abilities everywhere, mini-boss, boss, you know, how a dungeon works.
That sprite looks weird as fuck.
I agree, I prefer how it looked in the original.
Anyway, I really like the Chocola Reserve battle. His attacks are well telegraphed, but the one problem I have with this boss is that it took so long to beat. This is pretty much because Bubbles comes in later in the fight, and he will heal the boss for a lot of HP, which is a big time waster. In fact, having too much HP is a problem that persists throughout the rest of the game. In the remake, bosses go into something called Fury Mode, where attacks are faster and defense is higher. This is supposed to signify whenever the boss's HP is low, like 10% or less or so. However, actually getting there can take a while, as boss stats are buffed too high in the remake. Certain bosses took me like minutes or even hours on end before I defeated them.
And that's for the original. Trust me, we'll get there.
With the worm finally out of Queen Bean, we can finally handle the task at hand. Going to Woohoo University like Prince Peasley said, and facing off with Cackletta to finally end the game. Getting to the University is easy, but the challenge within is the dungeon itself and its various puzzles. There are so many puzzles that vary from simple to outright complex. Personally, I had a really hard time getting through this dungeon.
Yep, yeah, it's such a hard time, you even messaged me on Discord asking about a solution to one of the puzzles. You're lucky I played the game so many times.
Oh, and another thing. Since this is a Mario game, there has to be some platforming, and thankfully this game does not disappoint. While there are a lot of platforming sections in the oval world, there are also traditional 2D platforming sections, and when you die, it also plays the traditional death song. While Woohoo University isn't the first dungeon to show this, it's still important to note.
After working our way through all those lovely puzzles, we can finally confront Cackletta. Seems the Beanstar reacted rather violently to Peach's voice. I wonder why that is. Anyways, the battle with Cackletta is certainly one of the more memorable fights in this game. Although when I played, she wouldn't stop doing this annoying-ass clone attack. It really got old after a bit.
After beating Cackletta, our dear Prince Peasley appears and he wants us to retrieve the Beanstar, which is now down in the basement.
And for some reason, when we do find the Beanstar, Popple and Rookie are just there? For some reason? I suppose you could chalk it up to just they have to be there for the plot, but like, what business do they even have here?
Yeah, I don't know why they're here either. Let's just beat them up and get out of here. What the fuck are they falling off? Wait. I
He didn't say it yet.
knew it! I fucking
He didn't say it yet. He didn't say it yet. He didn't fucking say it yet.
As you may have just saw, that reveal kind of did get a catch on me. Actually, I kind of got played with the whole Bowser and Rookie thing. It honestly caught me off guard when he was going to say, "I am Bowser the King." It's honestly a really great moment. It probably will catch a lot of people off guard, even the ones that know. Welcome to the halfway point. This is where the game starts to branch out with not only the plot, but with the gameplay as well. You literally get a new command within the first 5 minutes of playing. The hand command may seem similar to the hammer, but do not confuse the two. Certain enemies are actually weak to specific hand commands, such as these OG enemies.
However, there are also enemies who can't be hit by the hand commands, like bloopers. Using the hammer and jumps is still viable with a variety of things.
After exploring the seabed, we finally get to see an unconscious Bowser. Wonder what's going on.
Me neither. Even though it was a specific found thing, I probably would have seen it.
What the fuck are they doing? Oh! 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 Whoa! What is happening?
Don't worry though. Comedy Central got Family Guy
That's
soon.
Green Hammer Bros.
What the fuck?
Found Bowletta.
Why are they throwing shock bullets?
What the fuck?
Cool.
You found Bowletta.
I found Bowletta. Well, that's a very surprising reveal. I guess Bowser is the main villain all along, but in a very different way.
Yes, both Bowser and Cackletta return, combined into one Bowletta. It's kind of a weird direction to go in, but what other villain do you have? Having Cackletta alive and well after you brutally murder her in the university would be even more strange.
Anyways, after returning to dry land, we finally see Prince Peasley and he tells us something important. Princess Peach is visiting the Beanbean Kingdom via the airport. But wait a minute, I thought her voice was stolen. What the hell is going on? Why is she coming here?
I sense a surprising secret at the center of this riddle. Geez, this is the second time I've quoted Prince Peasley in this video. I guess it shows how many times I've played this game.
Wait, what?
God.
Wait,
The hat.
oh, wait, what? Wait,
Milk,
no,
big
wait.
mistake.
Milk, big mistake.
Hold on.
Wait, what the hell?
Fuck.
happened?
Just call my brother ugly.
Ben, I knew you were gonna flip your shit at this part.
Wait a minute. Oh, what? Holy shit, that caught me off guard. That was a great twist to the story, knowing that even the secondary characters can have important roles.
That also explains why the Beanstar was so mad. I suppose Birdo's voice was just that awful, and it pissed it off.
Turns out the reason why Peach came to visit was because of Little Fungi Town, a town full of toads who immigrated to the Beanbean Kingdom for a very unknown reason. You have to escort Princess Peach to this town to make sure she isn't kidnapped, because she really just can't resist it. Now, let me tell you this. I fucking hate this mission! When I did this mission for the first time, it was not only confusing, but fucking tedious! Thank God that you only need to reset the room if you fail, because this would be so rage-inducing if you have to redo the whole section. Thankfully, after this tedious section, you are met with a boss that is not really hard. Thank fucking God! When reaching Little Fungi Town, you're not only greeted by toads, but a really fun game to play at the arcade. In the GBA version, it even has Geno in it, which is really cool. If you had a set amount of points, you'll run an Invinsa Shroom, which is totally not a poison mushroom that affects the plot.
And let me stop you right there, because this town has another point of interest, one that is, in my opinion, one of the only real flaws of the original version of the game. Enter the Mush Badge. The gimmick with this badge is that for every mushroom in your inventory, your power gets boosted. The problem with this? Well, if you're good enough at the game, you never need to use the mushrooms, so by this point in the game, you're almost maxed out on them. And so... The game's balance just gets thrown right out of the window, and you're just dealing hundreds of damage with every bros move. Which kinda sucks, because I think the bosses of this game are very unique, and having this badge on the whole time just trivializes all the challenge. Granted, the game's already really easy, but with the Mush Badge it's practically nothing.
Thankfully, this badge got nerfed in the remake. It still has the same function, but the amount of power that is boosted is lessened by a lot.
Yeah, it was nerfed heavily in the remake. They also buffed the boss's health significantly, so overall this game is a bit more difficult.
Honestly, I didn't even bother to get the Mush Badge, but I still did really good damage later on. Anywho, the Poison Mushroom one unsurprisingly poisons Mario, as he has 3 days left until he turns into a bean. Kinda surprising, am I right? Now it's time for Luigi to go out and find this cure. Except that he doesn't want to, because he's a coward.
Also because he was told a monster was in the ruins, but yeah, let's just ignore that part.
How does he solve this? Well, he goes to his local hypnotist, of course. Now that his cowardly demeanor is mysteriously gone, the superstar Mario, who is totally not Luigi, goes out to Gwaha ruins to retrieve the cure. Even though he does get a little help, this is one of the many things Luigi does solo, and honestly really love when this happens. Instead of having Mario be the hero, this game also gives Luigi a chance to shine. Sadly, this is abruptly halted as soon as you come back, because Little Fungi Town is being nuked by none other than... Whoa, what the
reveal.
fuck? What the...
The reveal.
Oh shit, we get to see Belletta!
The reveal.
You
The
get to
reveal.
look at her ugly mug.
Let's see how ugly she looks.
Yes, my favorite Luigi line, Bowser.
You're sorely mistaken.
Oh my fucking god, she
I'm
looks ugly.
Belletta! Oh my god, I'm shaking it! Oh yeah!
When heading back to Beanbean Castle to discuss a plan, we also get a deal. Collect the 4 Beanstar pieces that were scattered all across the kingdom as ransom for Princess Peach. If I was being honest, I really enjoyed this part of the game. Although it's a collectathon, it still allows players to explore areas that they've already visited and find new secrets. Granted, you'll most likely just find Shuckle Beans, but my point still stands. It's like a victory lap. I'll go through these 4 pieces of the Beanstars at a rapid fire rate because, well, the game kinda does this as well. The very first Beanstar piece that you're always required to go to is in Teehee Valley, the desert area that had that stupid escort mission. I completely understand why this is the first one, that being it's the longest out of the 4. However, it's a very controversial thing to me. On one hand, a series of missions to get rewarded with a key item feels super rewarding. On the other hand, the pacing feels off now thanks to these 3 being very short to get, and this first one being very long to get.
Yeah, this section's a bit longer than the others. But I think you're forgetting something about this area, fan. That being...
Select dash.
Goal. Select dash. We just
Oh my god, why
What the hell was that? Anyways, you get the upgraded hand abilities in Guahar Lagoon. Tickling and igniting the other brother. You know, they bash each other's skulls in, and now this? I'm starting to think the relationship between these two is not a very good one.
The boss guarding the piece, Hermie III, is very long if you don't know what to do. First you have to burn the shell, followed by using a thunder attack that deals massive damage. It will always deal critical damage if I recall correctly.
And you can probably guess how it goes in the GBA version.
Since we got rid of the poor crab's Christmas tree star, we're gonna have to find another replacement for him. However, we gotta keep our priorities straight first, as we gotta go for the other 3 Beanstar pieces. From here on out, the next Beanstar piece to go after is your choice. I went to Chocoholic Woods next. Here you'll find the Winkles and their Coliseum, which houses the next minigame. This section was personally my favorite out of the 4 pieces. I really liked having to be quick on my feet while keeping the Mario Bros safe from any damage whatsoever.
I found it pretty annoying.
Afterwards, you'll see Papa after a very long time, and you'll kick his ass for the next Beanstar piece. The next Beanstar piece is located in Harhal's studio, as she wants you to knock specific design bombs at shirts to create certain designs. While this is the shortest section out of the 4, the minigame certainly makes up for it.
I like Harhal's minigame the most, although it can be tricky to line up the bombs correctly. Fun fact, if you do make all the designs, Harhal will give you a piece of gear that dramatically ups your HP and randomizes gravity. It's pretty interesting, but in this playthrough I didn't bother.
The last Beanstar piece is at the Yoshi Theater and requires you to explore the whole Beanstar Isles to collect 7 fruits, to have 7 Yoshis eat them, and shit out eggs for you to exchange for the Beanstar piece. No, I am not joking.
Probably my least favorite of the Beanstar pieces. I just went around the damn kingdom and he asked me to do it again? What a slog. These are some funny dialogue from Prince Peasley at the end.
After that whole collectathon of Beanstar pieces, we finally get another message from the kidnapper herself, stating to go to Joke's End to exchange these pieces for the princess. However, Prince Peasley thinks otherwise. This clever and lovable bastard creates a fake Beanstar that will be used to trick Bowletta into releasing Princess Peach. This is definitely a very good idea which has very few flaws at all.
I mean, it is a good idea. The villains couldn't anticipate something like that, could they?
After giving Hermie III his new ornament and getting lost for a couple minutes, we finally have our own surfboard and it's Luigi. The hell? Yeah, this game is hilarious.
Luigi.
This dungeon was eye-opening to me. Personally, I didn't mind the dungeon that much, even though I heard from Meme John that this is the most frustrating dungeon in the game.
Well, I'd argue it's the only full-on dungeon so far.
I did have trouble with some puzzles, but the only one I had no idea what to do was the second barrel puzzle. Look, I knew after beating this dungeon that this gimmick was used earlier on in the game, but I highly doubt anyone's going to even remember this, like, at all.
I got lost in this dungeon. Some of the puzzles are really silly to figure out. For example, take this one here with the 4 candles. You're supposed to put them out using the water in the room. Well, I thought, and you might also think, you'd have to backtrack and find your way back over there. But no! You have to use the steam and create a tornado, and then shoot a water ball with your hammer at the tornado, which magically splits it into 4 and hits all of them. A mechanic which is never used anywhere else in the damn game. So please excuse me if you say I don't like this dungeon. Throughout the dungeon, you'll see this little doll thing called Jorjora. Surprise, surprise, she's the boss of this dungeon, but she's not the only one fighting. Oh no.
Even the spirit thinks I have good taste. Oh my god. Actually, let me sit.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, you do have some pretty good taste right there. Yeah, I'll agree.
Yum.
Now let's meet the bride-to-be.
Yeah, sure, let me sit down first, because I was sitting on the bed while doing this.
Hi, Alina.
So this is Onolina. Oh,
That's right, her friend joins the party as well. Jojora has a really high defense, so your best bet is targeting her friend when she's off screen. And this took Fan quite a bit to figure it out.
she ain't wrong though, but that doesn't mean that this boss isn't good per se. It's far from bad, I really like it. But the gimmick can be confusing the first time you get to it. But once you figure it out, this boss is really easy. It's light work per se. However, doing this in the remake is much harder than you think, as Jojora will use her little wand as soon as she gets close to you.
That's why you have your hammer ready, Fan. They don't fall off the handles in the remakes, you just hold the button and wait to strike. Anyways, after that fiasco, the brothers finally meet up with Fawful, as he's right through their fake Beanstar and steals the real thing instead. But you see, we have a plan. Toadsworth brought a change of clothes for Peach, so Mario hatches a plan to trick Bowletta into handing over Peach. Another ruse! But who exactly is this other Peach?
Oh. Oh, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out.
Joke my sussies.
Yet again, Superstar Saga pulling off a comedic scene to perfection. After that hilarity, we explore a damaged Koopa Cruiser. It's seen better days. Once the Beanstar is recovered, we get a hint about what the final dungeon could be. After finding Luigi in a splashdown and engaging in a very embarrassing final battle with Pavel,
Actually, there's something that bothers me here. You see, Popple's new rookie is Birdo, but if you remember right, Birdo's voice was stolen at the beginning of the game. But this Birdo does talk. So, I smell a plot hole. Unless there's more than one Birdo, which doesn't really make sense.
wow, I actually didn't know that. Man, I gotta look into that. Well, thank you for telling me that. Now we finally gaze upon the final dungeon in the game, Bowser's Castle. Trying to prevent the Beanbean Kingdom from a barrage of nukes, we ask the one and only ally that can fly, blah 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 blah, Orange Flying Fucker, the Pterodactyl, to get us up to that castle to finish the battle once and for all. Yeah, babies, endgame. Before even talking about this masterpiece of a final dungeon, I have got to talk about the music. This theme is a masterpiece and very fitting for the final dungeon. I'll play a snippet of it right now so that way you can have a listen. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about the dungeon. First of all, this is another super long dungeon. With 9 bosses that you have to fight, you can tell that this will be a doozy. And it also doesn't really help that the aesthetics give off a very threatening environment. However, these bosses aren't bullshit per se. They're kind of easy once you get the hang of them. My favorite Koopaling out of the 8 is Wendy. She provides a very tough boss by combining the gimmicks of both Lemmy and Roy and the other late Koopalings as well. If there's one negative I could say, is that if you destroy her clones during Fury mode, she'll spawn even more, which causes you to easily lose track of her when she spins faster and faster and faster. My least favorite is definitely Iggy. I feel like he could have done a better gimmick in mind. Because changing stats does really nothing when you can just use the bros attacks. I get that he's the first Koopaling, thus the easiest, but it just feels very lazy. After a couple of puzzles and a nostalgic platforming section, and all 8 knocked out Koopalings, You finally make it to the final showdown! Awful? The fuck is he asleep for? We got a video to work on. John!
Sorry, I fell asleep fighting the Koopalings in the GBA version. Anyways, Fawful shows up near the end because he's Kecletta's #1 minion, although he's having some second thoughts about that role. This boss is quite fun, actually. You're supposed to hit the dome enough times so it overheats. Then Fawful exclaims that it's the hotness, and you're able to hit him. It's a clever idea for a boss. Prince Peasley swoops in after the fight and knocks him away. I doubt we'll be seeing Fawful anytime soon.
Now it's really time for the final showdown, Bowletta! This boss, like any other boss, is very easy when you know what you're doing. Seems a bit underwhelming if you ask me. All you really need to do is just use the correct element depending on her form. If she's in her shadow form, use fire attacks. In her regular form, use thunder attacks. Like I said, pretty damn simple.
What a lame final boss.
Huh? We won! Wait, we won! Holy shit, we won! Yo, we beat the game! Wait, what? What the fuck?! No! So what the hell is going... What the fuck are you doing? Oh, hell no, 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 no! Oh, God. Holy shit. Kecletta Soul fucked me up. This boss fight requires your full attention and everything you learned from this game, which is why I think it's designed very well, but some of her attacks are ridiculous to dodge. Slack off once and you're done.
For example, the infamous spinning arms attack. All you need to do is watch your eyes and you'll be able to tell if you need to jump over the arm or not.
Personally, I had a lot of trouble knowing when to dodge or not. She still telegraphs the move, which is really good, but I think it could have been telegraphed a lot better.
I think starting the player off on 1 HP is a little ridiculous. It should kill you on the first turn if you're too slow. It'll certainly kill someone who's playing this boss for the first time like fan. However, I think despite these minor flaws, she's still a quality final boss and definitely one of the highlights of my various playthroughs. Some of her attacks are really annoying to dodge though. Her Fawful clone attack comes to mind. The jump timing is very precise. If you don't dispel him quickly, he'll just keep doing it.
Despite having her problems, I do agree with Meme John. This boss fight is still really, really good. In fact, it's one of my favorite bosses from any RPG. And don't even get me started on the satisfaction of beating this boss. This took me over 3 hours!
Just like record a video of me beating Kecletta's Soul as fast as possible, then like overlay your footage of it with like that. like put a little tiny. You did it!
Yes!
Well, quit me blabbering about whatever the fuck I was talking about. You did it!
Yes! Yes! Let's go!
He is dead forever.
Huh? Oh shit, Prince Beasley, hey! Mr. Clutch. Uh-oh.
Yep, you still gotta escape.
No!
It's okay, it's easy.
Oh no.
You get 3 minutes.
Of course that would happen. Thankfully, the time limit is very generous because you only need to solve one puzzle, and it's really easy. Once you escape Bowser's Castle, congratulations! You beat Superstar Saga! And see Bowser break the 4th wall. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga contains one of the best experiences I have ever had. It's so fun that I would replay this again if I need another video idea.
Hey fan, before we get into the reviews, what about the other section of the game?
It's boring. Don't touch it.
Yeah, agreed.
Superstar Saga has great elements that RPGs could definitely take inspiration from. The combat's very engaging, leaving you wanting to take as little hits, or if you're even very good, 0 hits thanks to the dodge mechanic. The story keeps you surprised upon every turn, and the comedic scenes that Luigi specifically pulls keeps me laughing every time. Another thing to note is that world building is out of this world. At first, you would probably think that the Beanbean Kingdom is so small, but when you go out and explore it, you realize how big and vast this kingdom truly is. If people are wanting to play Superstar Saga, I recommend the original version, because the stuff in the remake that implements from Dream Team and beyond makes the game a bit harder. Rose moves are fleshed out better than the remake, and the remake buffs bosses significantly, which makes them harder or even more tedious. Based on Meme John's template that he's used for the Castlevania reviews, this game definitely deserves a masterpiece tier. Like I said previously, everything about this game wants me to keep playing and never stop. It's such a fun game that I recommend everyone that is interested in a new take of Mario to go check this game out.
As I said before, I love this game. In a time where little baby Meme John did not have the patience for RPGs, I did always love playing Superstar Saga. It provides quite the unique twist on the standard RPG formula, and has kept me engaged all these years later. The style on the GBA looks great, and the game still keeps me laughing with some of its dialogue, even if I've seen it all already. I've gone on record saying this is my favorite game of all time, and I still stand by that. Honestly, if we're going by the tiers, it deserves a tier of its own, the masterpiece above masterpiece, an 11 out of 10. I truly don't think any other game will top it for me. But, well, that's for me to find out. It's the only Mario Luigi game I've completed, so there's still a lot more for both me and fan to experience.
Absolutely! And here's to having a fantastic time with the remaining 5 games! What do you guys think of Superstar Saga? Leave a comment down below, I'd love to discuss it with you all. Thanks again to MemeJohn86 for being a part of this series, and I'll leave his channel in the description down below if you wish to see his content. Before you like this video, jump on that like button and hammer that subscribe button to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!